There's a lot of flowing water behind me, but I hope you can still somehow hear me just about enough. This place is so beautiful. It's so peaceful. I had this thought, and it's the reason why I'm even here with some friends in the mountains, off the grid, without signal.
Where do we go? It is important. Where do we go? Do we go that way or do we go that way?
Just trying to reconnect and disconnect from the rest of life and reconnect with what makes us passionate about filmmaking. And on the flip side, how do we navigate this world of AI that is feeling ever more dominant in our life and in our industry as well? And that's why I thought let's just have a quick chat about it. I think AI matters, it really matters, and it absolutely has its value. But I've just felt for myself like I feel like I'm missing some kind of a realness lately, and I don't think I'm alone in that, you know. So yeah, I do believe that there's an ever-increasing value on realness and authenticity.
I don't know if it's the adrenaline off my shoulder plus a castle light, but I'm buzzing.
I'll put a coffee too.
Yeah, a little cortado as well.
And not hiding behind a facade of algorithms that in some cases appear to do a better job than what we can. For example, when I watch like a video on Instagram or a photo and it's like it says there made with AI, I'm so often like blown away by the capabilities of AI and what they're able to do, and in many cases be even more creative in their storytelling and in their ideas and their conceptualization of things than I probably could right now. And that is really impressive. Also a bit scary, but very impressive. But as soon as I see the little made with AI, I'm like, not interested. Do you not feel the same? Like, immediately I feel like, it's fake. So I actually don't care. I literally don't care about what you're showing me. If it's a brand launching on a new product and showing it in an environment or whatever being used, but it's all actually made with AI or whatever the case may be. Like, as soon as that happens and I become aware of it, I'm like, this is not important anymore because there was no human creativity behind this. Now, there's obviously nuance to that. AI is working off the input that we give it. It feels like a cop-out tool for laziness in some instances. Like, just write a few lines and it'll do all this hard work for you. And then you've just got to write a few more lines to modify it maybe. The other tricky thing figuring out is at what point do regulations dictate whether or not they need to tell us it's made with AI? Because that is where obviously the trick comes in. Stuff looks so real these days. And if you didn't know it was made with AI, you will be fooled. And that is the scary thing. But currently as it is, if I know something's made with AI, I have no human connection to it anymore. My heart is not in it. Because I know that there's just a computer behind this thing. And that doesn't speak to me. It doesn't speak to me because I know it's not real. And I think as an industry, I think we're realizing this fact, and like I do sense that there's this quest for realness again. AI has its place and it will continue to expand and be used by more and more brands in more and more situations, for advertising, for filmmaking, in other creative ways. But I think there's a flip side to it, that I think the expansion and the coming back to the heart of filmmaking and the heart of connection and what makes people connect with a visual artwork comes because we know that the hard work that's been like put in the background, the creative process, the highs and lows, the scrunching up paper and throwing it in the bin because we didn't like the idea and starting again, like that's the process that makes us come alive, and that's what other people connect with, because that comes across in a beautiful story. You know, AI could theoretically write a far more compelling and exciting story with all the hooks and cliffhangers. But if I know that it's just been like algorithmically created, I know that there's no realness behind it. And that for me is an immediate turn off, basically. So, but there's a parallel. I don't necessarily think AI will just take over everything in our industry, but things will start running in parallel and working together. But I think realness will become more and more important, and people will value that more and more. So yeah, I'm curious. Let me know below if you kind of think I'm making sense or if I've completely lost my mind. But yeah, it's just something that this trip has really been about, you know, coming out and disconnecting from the digital world, a world that's currently very volatile and yeah, unstable in many ways, and just reconnect with people and with why I love filmmaking, and that real stories is what gets me excited, and maybe what gets you excited as well. I think that's why like sports documentaries, for example, have been such a hit the last 3-4 years, is because people can connect with what is happening on screen. There's human emotion, there's human connection, highs and lows, there's triumph, there's tribulation, there's challenges, there's victory, there's defeat, and we feel all of that when we're watching these things, because we know that it's happened in real life, like this is a real story, and for that reason we can connect with it. And the reason that we can connect with fictional stories as well is because they were conceptualized by people, and so it comes full circle again, in my opinion, that there's a realness that I think humans deeply crave and need, and we're realizing more and more that the more AI there is, the more we're losing something else in the process, and we want to get back to that. So yeah, that's what this trip is about. Just want to remind myself the importance of continuing to hone my skills and hone my craft, and not feel like, okay, AI is just going to take over and I don't need to continue to improve or get better because, well, they'll do it anyway. I don't think that's the right attitude, and there's obviously an element of anxiety. It's like, I don't want to be left behind, I don't want to feel like I'm missing out on this AI thing, and will it render me useless essentially in a few years' time if I don't jump on the bandwagon and make sure I'm up to date with everything. There's definitely an element of that, but I can't help but think that I want to get back to this realness, and AI can be more complex and more advanced and more methodical and more whatever. If I know it's not real, I don't care. I just don't care. Human connection is what gives us life. It's what gives us purpose. It's what gives us meaning. And without it, like, we would just like be robots running around. And I don't think if we really think about ourselves that that's what we want, and that's something desirable. So that's my little AI. It's not a rant, because I'm not trying to go against AI. Like I said, I think it's really important. But coming out here has just made me rediscover, like, hey, I'm chasing something real, and I'm going to chase it hard, because everything else leaves me unsatisfied and empty. Sounds hectic, but ultimately I think that's the truth. So why hide behind it? But yeah, I'd be curious to hear what you guys think. And otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed my little adventure out here in the mountains. I hope you've learned something. I hope it's been visually pleasing. I've been lugging this camera up and down massive mountains. Times I'm like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? I think it's worth it. Okay, bye.